What's good, everybody? Welcome to Whole Views. Thank you for clicking the thumbnail. My name is Corey, and today we're talking about Sinners. This is not a spoiler review. I won't give any spoilers about the movie, so if you haven't seen it, you're good. If you want to go watch it, come back and watch this. That's great. If you've already seen it, then you will understand everything I'm saying. First thought, probably going to be on the thumbnail, is everyone won't like this. And that's wild to me because I don't see many flaws with this movie. On my scales, according to my ratings, this movie is in the pretty damn good category. It measures an 8.2 out of 10, and we're going to go through all the categories and talk about things in a non-spoilery way. I will do a spoiler review where I talk in more detail about the movie and personal connections and, emotions and things like that I got while I was watching the film. But this one is just talking about the movie in very generic terms. But if you've seen it, you'll get everything I'm saying. So let's get to it, starting with the visuals category. The visuals carry this movie, and that is from the cinematography to the performances. Talking about performances, Michael B. Jordan does great, probably better than what you normally see him do in most films, because he's not his normal self in this. Michael B. Jordan is very unlikable in this movie. I think that's one part of it that will turn off audiences. Like, people wanted to go in and cheer for him, and I didn't find myself rooting or cheering for Michael B. Jordan's character, which is great. Like, you did something different. Haley Steinfeld was amazing. I don't want to go too far into her character or make it seem like she stole the film in any way. I won't say those things, but what I will say very definitively is her line delivery at times is amazing. She has one line that she delivers towards the end of the film, or right before the climax of the film, when things really start to turn crazy. She delivers that line with such conviction that I sat up in my seat. Like, yo, you transcended being an actress in this moment, and you sound like somebody from my neck of the woods, Southwest Louisiana. It was great. But the person I want to highlight the most and basically give their flowers to is Miles Canton. Like, we are not going to hear many people talking about him, but to me, this is his movie. He's the star of this show. He's the person that, as an audience member, you should be rooting for and looking for a connection with. And I really enjoyed his performance, and I really liked the story that his character went through. The ending of the film feels so great because of his character and the work that he did in the beginning parts of this movie. So, Miles Canton, I really enjoyed it. Let's talk story. So before going to see this movie, I talked with my friends, my producer. Me and him were talking about it. This movie is projected to make $40 to $50 million this weekend. I was thinking, man, it's going to see 90, it's going to see 100 million this weekend. The buzz is incredible. Haven't heard anything negative. This is going to make big money. But after watching the movie and seeing the story, I could see how this story could alienate a few audience members, because people don't want to be reminded of the rural South in the 1930s. And that's where the story takes place. For people of color, I don't see it being an issue because this is reality for us. But I could see some people, negative word of mouth starting to spread, and people saying, "Oh, I don't want to see it because it deals with racism." Well, that's what the reality was of the time. And I feel like it handles it well. The racism is present throughout, but it's not something that they beat you over the head with. It's just something that's there because if you lived at that time, you gotta deal with it. Sorry. The more important element of the story that I want to talk about, and I'm going to talk a lot about in the spoiler review, is the film's connection to music. Music is a character in this film. The way they use music to connect to culture is done in a way that I've never seen done on film before. Two of my favorite scenes from this movie come directly from the musical connection to culture. He does it once with Black culture, and he does it on a scale that, again, I've never seen anything like it. In the beginning phases of the scene, I didn't really like it. I thought that as a director, he was doing too much. But the more it went on and the deeper the connection got, it really started to resonate with me. And I really started to be open to the idea that, hey, this is the best connection between music and culture that I've ever seen portrayed on film. And then he did it again later on in the film. And so hats off to Ryan Coogler and his choice of storytelling and using music as a character and a vehicle to connect with culture. Deep stuff. Pace. Pace is the other area where I feel like you will lose general audiences. Marketing for movies always make you feel like it's going to be super duper exciting. And this movie is very exciting. It's a 2 hour and 15-minute movie. You don't feel the 2 hour and 15 minutes, but you do feel the pace in the beginning half of this movie, because when you get to the back half of the movie, the halfway point moving forward, every kill, every stab, every character death that you get in the back half is very much worth it by the groundwork that they lay in the first half of the movie. If you take some of the pacing out of that first half and you speed it up any, or you cut character moments any, you don't end up with the same impactful resolutions that you have on the back half of the film. So I'm fine with the pace, but objectively speaking, I could definitely see some people coming out there complaining. And again, I've talked to some folks, just a handful of folks, that were complaining. They did not care for the way the film played out because what boils down to pace. Entertainment value is super high on my scales because I loved it. It's one of the few movies that I've seen lately that I truly enjoyed and really wanted to just do a 180, like come out the theater, pay my money, go right back in the theater. I didn't bring my wife with me. That's my partner in crime. When we watch stuff, she is my gauge for the general audience. And so when I came out, I told her how good it was. I told her how much I enjoyed it. She said, here's the question, because we talk about all the elements without me spoiling it for her. And she said, my biggest question is, would you see it again? I said, if you wanted to go to the movies, I would go to the movies with you and I would be willing to pay the double admission. After paying admission for myself once already, I'll pay admission again to see this again whenever you want, because it was that impressive to me. There is so much more that needs to be said about the movie. So I'll come back in a few days, or come back in a few days. I will drop a video in a few days that will be me talking about the personal connections that I have with the movie, because this is music, the blues that my grandfather would make. Some of the line delivery, very reminiscent of my area, Southwest Louisiana, with the spiritual elements and all that stuff. All that stuff I want to talk about in detail, but I need you to come back, check out that video when we talk spoilers about it. Also, recommendations. If you liked Lovecraft Country when that came out all those years ago, you definitely need to see Sinners. It's right inside your wheelhouse. And there's tons of people who have years later watched Lovecraft Country and feel a great connection to it and very fond of it. Hey man, there are scenes in there that it feels like I'm watching an episode of Lovecraft Country. It's that real. It was well done. And so, great show, great film. I recommend them both. If you like one, you'll definitely like the other. And that's all I can say without spoiling the film. Please come back and check out the spoiler review. And that's all I got to say for this one, y'all. Enjoy yourself, guard your heart, and go watch something good.